Hello, my name is Gerry Brown and coming to you from Indianapolis, Indiana. I come from an era where first of all you had to buy the record, and then you had to have at least a decent record player, and then you had to have hopefully that you had a decent needle on the arm, and you're doing this. What was that? What was that? What was that? Oh. Got a little dust on there. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yeah, that's the spot. Listening, watching, listening, trying to emulate. If you have to know the history to spring forward. You had to know, the stuff from the Delphonics. You had to know the stylistics. You of course had to know all the James Brown. You had to know Wilson Pickett. You had to know Marvin Gaye. You had to know Stevie. You had to know the Supremes. You had to know all those patterns. With Stanley Clarke, we have known each other since the age of 12. And this was during a time in America where school systems, education, there was music education in the school systems. So we come from that time. And it was in Philadelphia that we met. As I said, I was 12 years old, and we eventually started to talk, and we found out that we listened to a lot of the same music, and since he was a bass player and I was a drummer, and then we were trying to emulate, our instruments, which led to the opportunities, 14, 15, where we just happened to play on some small little jazz gigs, and one thing led to another, and we started playing like the dances in high school, which was very cool by the fact that, first of all, if someone's going to pay you $20, to play at a dance, and you see all the pretty girls, and yes, there were gangs at that time, but at least with the gangs, if you were playing the music, it's like you kind of had like a little carte blanche, and like, you didn't really have any problem going to the neighborhoods or anything like that. Hey, yeah, I'm gonna see you at the dance, Yeah, man, you guys sound good. And ironic that in many of the bands that Stanley and I played in, there was a saxophonist who was older, but came to be a very well-known, globally well-known saxophonist, and that was Grover Washington. I moved to Europe, and I was playing with a flautist from Holland by the name of Chris Henze, and I was in Europe for a couple of years and came back in '75, and Stanley had just recorded like one of his first solo albums with Tony Williams, and there was success in that, and by '76 he was, I think it was with Nemperor Records that they did School Days, and he asked me to play on it, so there you go. Yes, there are some great musicians who do not read music. Yeah, they are. My suggestion is, if if you know how to read music, as I was told, you don't limit your possibilities. Yeah, if you can read music, yeah, you don't limit what you can do, because this is more than it's more than a hobby, and you do want to be able to have a roof over your head. You do want to be able to raise a family. People skills. Beside your skills that you can attain from practicing and what you listen to, but your people skills. How you get along with people. How you speak with people. You have to understand that when you're out on the road, you're representing yourself, you're representing your artists that you're with, you're representing your country. I think I have acquired very good people skills. I'm sure that, when I was younger, I was like sort of a knucklehead and arrogant, but I quickly learned that if you want to stay in this business, you're going to have to drop that like a bad habit. Because there are people who do not have the technique that I have, but are playing different situations at different gigs with different artists and have a lot of success. Well, how's that? Well, yeah, they play what is needed to be played, and they have very good people skills, and people like them. They've created this niche for themselves. So again, like the people skills are as important as the playing skills. And I'm still hanging in there, taking care of my body. It's serious, and it's a quote-unquote long game.